This song's for Jeff. Sturgis Jeff.
Sturgis Jeff. I think that's his new nickname.
Definitely. Part 2, guys. Fitting song, though, here.
You might think I'm a banker, and on weekdays it's true. But underneath this polycotton blend is a skeleton tattoo, which I got when I was drinking, and I'm showing off this weekend on my brand new Harley Davidson.
It's Jeff all the way, dude.
It is.
I may work in an office and look respectable and clean, but you should see me dressed in leather on my American machine.
And my rings.
You would swear that I'm blue collar on my $15,000 deluxe brand new Harley Davidson.
His was $45,000.
Come Friday evening, don't shower, I don't shave, and I put my little earring in, and it's time to misbehave. Yes, I will clean your teeth on Monday,
And pasties.
put braces in your mouth, but don't flash them at me Sunday, boy, or I just might knock them out. Yeah.
Anyways,
That was awesome.
I thought that was fitting. Shall
Where
we?
did you find that?
Dude, I find all kinds of gems that I like to play to the law-abiding biker community. And with that said, guys, to give proper credit, that was it's called Brand New Harley by Peter Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R, Meyer or Mayer. The album is Million Year Mind. And of course, in the show notes, I will have a direct iTunes link if you would like to go purchase that song. That was just a small portion of it, and obviously it continues to go on. But yeah, totally fitting, guys. What do you say? I got LD, I got Oscar sitting over here in the house. I say, let's rock this thing, huh? All right, let's do it, guys. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. And now, straight from the Law Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
That's right. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. This is the podcast, of course. If you're tuning in, we're doing it no music style. It is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%.
Hey, take 2 on episode 1 of Sturgis. You got it wrong. But anyways, that's right, guys. No better time. I want you all to know you are, whether you want to or not, by listening to this very podcast, heard in 145 countries worldwide, you are part of the biker revolution. That's right. No better time to jump on board. That's right, guys. Mount up already. Let us take in another wild ass ride. Ryan Erlacher, of course, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
LD over there in the house. Of course, he was with us in episode 1 of Sturgis 2015. This is episode 2. And of course, oh, dude, because I had that little hiccup, Oscar, I lost your song off the soundboard again. And that's just
I got to get started on this because it's killing me.
Well, why is it going away like that? Because
it's too powerful.
Operator error.
Dude. Yeah, here we go. I'll get it going. Don't worry about it. You cannot miss out on it. It's just so fitting.
It is fairly fitting.
It so fits you, dude. But anyways, Oscar in the house again, and glad that you guys, really, these guys are putting in a lot of work because we're bumping two episodes back to back. Of course, it's all about Sturgis 2015, everything about it, our opinions, what we learned, what we would do better, what we would do next time, what we wished we would have done. And there's not a lot of that because we went, we saw, we feel like we conquered, and all the riding on the way down there and the way too. Of course, this episode is brought to you by the following people, Oscar or Rob, LD, if you guys want to handle that, these people. And we're going to talk about some patrons right in this very episode because we had a meetup. So who are these people?
They're Randy Stewart of Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's a top tier sponsor.
Top tier, baby.
David Gibson of Lubbock, Texas. And Jason Kubel of Meyerthorpe, Alberta, Canada.
What's that all about? Canada, what's that about?
I don't know. They love us up there.
Love our Canadians too, dude. All right, guys, they took action. That's right. You running right now? That's right. You driving right now? Pull over. That's right. You shopping? That's right. You on the lawn tractor? Stop. Take action. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Patreon. Become part of the community. Help put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank and help this thing going. Keep going down the road. That's right, guys. You can donate a certain amount. You can pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk. Absolutely no risk. You can put a cap on it. It helps give us direction, guys. And of course, we're going to talk in this episode about the patron meetup and how much that meant to us. And we'd like to meet you in person someday. You get in the private Facebook group, you get a t-shirt. There's some other rewards depending on which level you sign up as. We're really ramping that thing up here in the end of 2015. So we have direction. Of course, this is part 2 of Sturgis 2015 as stated. And we're going to pick up right where we left off. We left off in part 1 of this where we talked all about the day 4. What's going on over there?
I gotta get this out.
Oh no, Oscar did have something. Before I do that, Oscar has breaking. Hang on, special content, breaking news, and he has not.
Because you weren't here for this.
You have.
So you won't. So I have to.
You haven't told me what it is, so I'm a little worried.
So okay, I have to set the stage first.
Set the stage. It is your stage.
It was a dark and stormy night. No. It was the end of day 3. We were all sitting around at a house in Rapid City.
But this is before we even spent time in Sturgis.
We skipped over this. I totally forgot until we were sitting down there. So we're sitting around and we're just BSing. We're having some drinks. And then, you know where I'm going with this?
I have no idea.
The one thing I regret is deleting the 3 minutes and 30 seconds captured of this rant that our good friend here, LD, went on. And it's the funniest.
Did you dude, recorded it?
Yeah, but it filled my phone up. I had to delete it.
Idiot.
And so this was an hour and a half rant. What was it? I've never seen such. I've known LD a long time.
I was passionate about something.
Holy cow! I have never in my entire life. We were rolling. I haven't laughed that hard in years.
I had an opportunity in Sturgis and it passed me by and I'm still regretting it.
You talked about it.
That apparently
I missed this.
You can bowl midgets.
Oh, I didn't miss part of this. Dude.
I was going to take one of them little bastards and throw them down that deal with a helmet and everything. It was going to be great. It just didn't happen.
Dude. Totally. LD was going to midget bowl.
It was awesome.
Now,
but the rant was the best part.
If you're a little person and you're listening, I know that now.
You want to be bold. Get a hold of the show.
We're politically correct. So politically correct here. Dude, I told my wife this. So I come home and I go, honey, I was telling her about Full Throttle, which we're going to talk about here. I go, and there was midget wrestling. She goes, oh my God, that's so not right. I go, leave it to America and a bunch of bikers to frickin' just completely, what do you even call it, dude?
Crowd around the
take
stage.
Advantage and of midget wrestling. And I will tell you guys, these little people call themselves midgets and they call themselves midget wrestling. So leave it to, God, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, dude. I told Skins, leave it to us to.
Totally defile little people.
I got video.
I did too.
America.
But the video we deleted of you on that rant, that's the only thing I regret is that deleting that video. Because we had to get some pictures and I'm like, what is a 3 minute, 32 second thing? And Brenda goes,
of his rant?
Oh yeah.
That's
Brenda goes, I recorded Robbie last night. And I'm like, oh no. What are we going to delete? We got to keep that, but we got to get these pictures. Oh, dude.
Should have texted to me.
I haven't laughed that hard in many, many, many moons.
Midget wrestling. And then there was midget bowling. And I never got to see the midget bowling.
Someone falsely advised me there was midget bowling.
I have heard of midget
Now,
bowling.
hang on.
No, at the it was
On the second to last night, we found it was at the Buffalo Chip.
See,
Yeah, it was
I
at the
knew it.
Buffalo
But
Chip.
you had to pay a $75 day use fee to get into the Buffalo Chip. And I said, I
Right.
don't want to bowl them guys that bad.
Right.
You did that night.
I would have paid it.
That's after about 3 beers. LD was all ready to pay $75 to go midget bowling.
It was 2.5, I think.
We had to cut him off at 6 beers.
Oh,
Okay, but I had to throw it out there because I know we
No, I'm
skipped
glad.
over it. And that was-
Brenda's going to love that part of the podcast.
Oh,
man.
dude,
She's
that was so
she
funny.
has text me pictures. Well, she's texted me some stuff since. Or
Yeah.
Facebook messaged me or whatever.
midgets. Yeah, he went off on mid. Yeah,
So
that was
yes, there
awesomeness. That was awesome.
And I wanted to record that on the GoPro so bad. I was so ready
Wouldn't have mattered.
to frickin' record the. Yeah, you're right, dude. We will talk about that little theft action.
All right, so that's it. So, we skipped over that.
No,
but
no, we
had
didn't.
to come back.
I'm glad you did, and so that puts us at the full throttle. So let's just
Yeah,
go right in.
the
And
next
before
day.
me starting like usual, I'm steering the ship. I want you to take the helm. I want you to come on over here, Oscar, and I want you to take just a few of this part of the helm.
I would touch something and there'd be an explosion,
You're right.
and then the show would go off there and people would be upset. I'm just going to stay here on the couch.
So tell me what your thoughts. I'm really curious, and then I'll give my thoughts at the
Hang
end.
on a second.
Go ahead.
Day 4. We did
Yeah.
not go straight down to Sturgis and full throttle, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Day 4 was remember
Sturgis Day. We met Jeff there. We rode into the
Okay,
house.
okay.
We got there, no problem. You let us in.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Never
Those 6 beers totally wiped out your memory, dude.
mind. Okay. Yep. I'm with
The
you.
night before.
So our again in episode 1 of Sturgis 2015. Does that sound cool when I do it like that?
Yeah, no, but it's
Not
fine.
at all.
Is that
It's
the
okay.
radio? That's the radio voice. Sturgis 2015.
Sturgis. 2015.
Oh yeah, we can put a little reverb on it.
There, I just did.
That was So full throttle after Sturgis, we spent most of the day in the latter part of the day. A few of us headed over to full throttle. So give us a picture, paint us a picture, and your thoughts walking into full throttle. And what you think, Oscar?
That place was crazy. I mean, there's just bikes everywhere.
Yeah,
bikes everywhere, and then bar. It was just I'd never seen anything like it. A huge bar.
And if
Just
you're
bars
not
everywhere.
familiar with full throttle, it's about a couple miles.
It's a cow
east
pasture.
on Lozelle.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it is a cow pasture and a bar.
You hit Lozelle and you go east for about 2 miles, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But it's 2 miles of solid. Well, when we left there, I'm glad we weren't heading there.
Yeah.
Those bikes were standstill, stopped all the way back into Sturgis.
We definitely picked the right time to go to a lot of places.
Yeah. But
So
we went out there and checked it out.
and it's a little. Since you're not, are you going to paint a picture?
I don't know how to.
It's a little. So if you guys haven't been to full throttle, so 2 miles east Lozelle, east of Sturgis, it is it once was a cow pasture. It's all dirt. They've got gravel lots. It's a huge amount of acreage. I don't know how many, but it's a fairly huge. And over the years, they've actually built a little city.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is they've brought many things in, and of course, as we discussed in the last episode, it too is only open 3 weeks out of the year. That's how much damn money it makes. It's got railroad trusses, and it's got all kinds of steel and steel sculptures, and it's got the bar that you walk in. It's got shops. It's got boardwalks. They've built boardwalks on both sides. There's an upper level boardwalk, a lower level. They've got some vendors. They've got the bungee ball thing where you can get that bungee ball thing out in the parking lot where you can get in the ball.
The zip line.
And they know that it's the bungee, but they and then they let it
they
go.
catapult you up into the air deal.
Yeah,
Was that at full
catapult.
throttle?
I don't.
Oh yeah,
remember that.
me and Skins watched it because we went out there again.
Okay.
They had it in the parking lot, and so it's a whole city within itself, a whole different and a unique experience from Sturgis itself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was in there, and you guys can just jump on if you want. Just tell me.
Well, they have like
Yeah, go ahead.
midget
wrestling.
Yeah,
They had the
did
midget
have
wrestling.
It's like big time wrestling, but it's
that dude
little
was-
time
but it's
wrestling.
little time.
That guy, but no. What, 3'6", 390 or something? He's
Yeah.
not little time.
Well, he's right.
Oh,
Right.
you're talking about the butt guy?
Well, the
Dude,
bald white guy. What
Walk
was
us
he?
Yeah,
through
he does
that
the
because
butt
I'm
thing.
still a little shocked.
Oh, he
about
does
that.
the butt. No, I thought that was the little black guy that does the
No.
butt thing.
Do you want me to show you? I got video.
Oh no, yeah, I got some of that video too. Well, that little, yeah, that
Okay,
guy,
so there's one guy they call him Meatball.
that's who it was. That was Meatball.
You know his name.
and this is Meatball.
I tried to get his autograph, but they scurried him out.
You jackass.
So old Meatball, he has a signature move when he wins. He puts somebody in the corner against the turnbuckles, pulls down his singlet.
Hang on. Wait for it before you tell him what he does. You got to wait for it. And what did he do?
There he is.
Yeah, go for it.
Pulls his singlet down and rubs his bare butt right in their face.
Dude, like full on rubbage.
And just clapping his cheeks.
You couldn't pay me enough to lose to that asshole.
No.
I mean,
literally.
It's big time wrestling. That's how he takes him out at the very
all right,
end.
today you're gonna lose, and old Meatball's gonna shove his ass in your face. All right, I'm gonna need $1,000 bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you?
There's no way.
And I will tell you guys that day, it was 100 degrees at least at full
And
throttle.
Meatball had been wrestling. He
And-
had a
yeah.
sweaty ass.
It wasn't his first rodeo for the day.
That was the most wrong thing I've ever seen.
And
All of that.
I'm shocked about a lot of stuff. I was pretty shocked about that. And it was the little guy with the face paint and the eyeliner.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there up against the turnbuckles, and he just backs into him, pulls his singlet down, and just is big
and the guy-
ass cheeks. And he's up in his crack. He's not just pretending, dude.
No.
His face is buried in his asshole.
Who was that little guy? That was like a small version of the singer.
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson.
yeah.
And that guy was 38 inches tall.
Mini me.
Yeah.
He was a tiny dude.
At least Meatball was like 4'3" or something. Little
was
Marilyn Manson was 38 inches tall.
We're not trying to degrade little people,
Little Marilyn Manson.
but they
He's
did
Little
call
Marilyn.
it midget
Yeah.
wrestling.
It did call it midget
That
wrestling.
was their phrase, not
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they announced it loudly. Midget
Midget
wrestling.
Yeah.
That was painful. I was.
But it was entertaining.
I don't know. I had a hard time. I had to drink a few more beers.
For 2 matches, it was entertaining.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Okay,
Right, because we're drinking beer while we're doing it.
Right.
And you're looking at pasties everywhere, and
yeah, there were some of those.
and it's just a bunch of bikers, and
That's it.
And we're just completely, that's the word I was looking for, just completely exploiting midgets.
yeah, they
Just
they were-
riding American
yeah.
machines, drinking beer, looking at half naked women, and exploiting midgets.
Oh, yeah.
And
America!
the midgets loved it. They were there on display.
I did see a guy there with a shirt on that said American as fuck.
just
So I was like, dude, I'm getting that shirt. That's
in your
awesome.
face, in your face, bitch. So what else at Full Throttle? So one of the cool things that I remember, of course, they got the boardwalks, they got the shops, they got the stage. They did a lot of concerts. Now I didn't hit any of the concerts. They had some cool names.
I stayed for part of, I think it was Molly Hatchet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How was it?
It wasn't too bad.
It's a badass sound system.
Yeah.
When they get that thing cranking, it
How many
rocks
stages
your
were
world.
there? Because there was people singing on a stage we couldn't see to the west. Because there's the big one by where the midgets were.
Right.
That
Let's
I mean,
call
it's
them
huge.
little people from here on out.
Little midgets.
Just teasing.
No,
Little
that's
people
that
midget.
was their phrase. We're going to use, we
there
don't
was
want to offend them. We want to use their phrases.
There was another band somewhere else. Was there a stage
No,
to
there
the
was
west?
2 stages inside the bar.
Okay, so we
behind
never
us.
did see them.
And then you had the main stage here, the little people wrestling here, and then there was a stage here too.
I saw the big one. We didn't see the
Some
other
girls were dancing on and stuff. I was standing right kind of by that one.
Yeah,
for a
you're
while.
right. I know what you're talking about now.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, inside the bar when you first walked in, there was 2 sections that had bands, I believe.
On the right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, because there was a country band and a heavy metal band.
Yeah,
but
and-
they were separate enough that you could
Yeah,
hear
I don't
them
know how
distinctly.
there was no wall between them basically.
Yeah, right. I don't.
And I'm like, how in the hell can you separate the sound? But it did. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. I was impressed.
And then they had 4 or 5 places to eat. They had the girls.
They had more than that. They had Boardwalk alone
Yeah, down
on both sides.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true on both sides. They had the gal on the motorcycle on the high wire.
The
with
Russian chick.
Yeah, and
She's kind of hot.
so Lee and I were talking. And
I
we're like,
like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
and we're going. Is OSHA even involved in this?
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, what in the hell?
Did she not have a helmet on?
Oh yeah, shit.
So what LD's talking about, to describe it a little more, it was pretty impressive, but all of a sudden there's a chick in a bikini and they're on a tight wire above, and it goes from the railroad trestle to this like little
Thing in the
monkey
middle.
tree thing where they had, and she's on a dirt bike, and it's got, of course, no rear wheel, no tire. It's got the wheel and the cable. Anyways, it's all balanced, and there's 2 chicks underneath it in, like circus type bikini things, and they're riding back and forth, and all of a sudden, dude, she just went and just fucking reefed that thing, and she does a wheelie all the way across the tight wire.
Wow.
And the chicks are hanging upside. It's pretty freaking, you're just like,
Well, and then when
you're
they
eating your corn dog, you're like, is this shit for real?
How
It's
high
like
up
right
were
over
they?
my head, dude.
and then they did the thing where they spun
30 feet off the air? Off the
Oh yeah,
ground?
they're up there.
Wow.
They would have had major carnage had they fallen off.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did the thing where they spun it and the bike was on the bottom and the freaking
Yes. It's all balanced. It's all counterbalanced.
Yeah,
So
it was something else.
the chick's on the motorcycle, and she's kind of strapped in for safety, but then they start rocking it, and then it goes all the way around, and the girls on the bar on the bottom are upside down, and the motorcycle's upside down, then it goes around. You didn't see any of this, Oscar?
No, Brendan and I
Oh,
left.
yeah.
She was like, let's go back to Sturgis. We
Had
saw
this
the
on the
midget
GoPro
wrestling.
too.
Oh, damn it.
Did have it. It was, but it's funny because you're sitting there and there's just so much, even Sturgis itself and even Full Throttle, I caught myself there's so much stimulation
all the
for the
time.
brain. You're like, okay, they're midget wrestling, oil wrestling. The oil wrestling was boring.
Yeah, but there's like 2 or 3 things going on all
they're,
the time.
They're over your head while you're eating a steak sandwich. You're like, what the freaking lady doing a wheelie, a Russian chick hanging upside down right above me. It's just cool, dude.
Yeah,
and then your people watching on top of it, you're like, oh God, what is that coming? And it just,
well, and they had
it's
bull,
the senses.
they had mechanical bull ride. I mean, it was just so
I
much
missed
shit
that.
going on. Oh, this one gal gets on there and she was a pretty good sized gal.
Heifer.
She was a heiferpotamus. And Lee goes, oh shit. And I said, what? And I'm watching something else. He goes, look, that ain't going to end well. She gets thrown off the sumbitch and crawls to the edge of the pad. And next thing you know, the medics are running over there. And
Oh, no shit.
Oh, yeah. I think she broke her arm.
Oh, yeah.
Where was the bull? I didn't see it.
It was right next to where they set it up later, but it was right next to where the oil wrestling was. Or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, right there in the middle.
You
That
guys
was
stayed for a
boring.
long time. We went back to Sturgis and walked around a lot more.
Yeah, you did leave pretty early. I
Yeah.
needed to see all that was to see at Full Throttle. But they keep adding to that thing, and they keep bringing in new art. It's all this metal welding art. But again, I walked through there 2 times, and I still didn't see everything. And in the bar itself, in the huge portion when you first enter, they've got old motorcycles up on the shelves, and they've got that old van with the sky. I mean, there's just so much to take in. It's almost like a museum. You're
Well,
like,
and then out in the
what the
parking
frick?
lot.
Yeah.
They have the guys in the barrel riding the motorcycles and the deal.
Wall of Death.
Yeah, Wall of Death out in the parking lot.
Now,
watch that.
I will tell you guys, if you have not seen the Wall of Death, there's multiple different entities that run a Wall of Death. I've seen it in person before, so I skipped it.
I watched it. It was awesome.
Unbelievable, isn't it? You feel it when you're up
yeah.
on that thing. You're like,
Shakes the whole damn
holy
deal.
shit, dude! Just going around and around, and
I don't know how you don't get dizzy.
Well, they've trained their brains just like anything, like a fighter pilot. You have to do that to train yourself to be able to handle that. And the one guy I saw, it was
Where's OSHA on that one?
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! OSHA's listening. I'm just saying, dude, you got some serious
Violations everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
everywhere.
You're completely fucked. If you
OSHA
don't.
would just faint.
Oh,
Walking in.
yeah,
Oh,
shit.
Jesus!
Shit, yeah.
America.
America.
Totally. All right. So, anything else? Full Throttle, experience it. It's a must. If you go to Sturgis, I will tell you. I wasn't sure. I saw a little bit of it on TV and stuff, but definitely a must experience. Full Throttle. How about what say you, Oscar? Anything else on that? We'll go around table and move on.
It's pretty cool. We got our fill of it and left.
I do want to say one thing. There's different kinds of bike builders in Sturgis and around. And I will tell you, one of the things that I don't appreciate, and I've never appreciated at bike shows, is when you bring a bike and you're trying to sell it. Now I get it, like if it's a, whatever, if we want to fall back on, the fire bike that whatever, OCC, right? That's a showcase glass type. It's for fundraising. But if you're building bikes and you have the intention of selling them, if you put a do not touch on your bike, kiss my ass.
Right.
Kiss
was that out
my
front?
ass. And no, and that's what I liked about Full Throttle. There was one particular builder that brought those bikes
Yeah.
with the 26-inch wheels and all slammed and stereo systems and just beautiful paint jobs. They actually rode them from Sturgis. They parked them in the dirt within Full Throttle next to the food vendors and let people touch them and put some price tags on a few of them.
Wow.
If you're a bike builder, that is what you need to do, because
Yeah.
if you put do not touch your bike, that's snobbish to me.
Yeah.
If you want to sell a bike, I will touch it.
Yeah.
If I'm at all interested in it. And if you don't want me to touch it, then don't sell it or say it's a show bike. But some people were like, no, it's for sale, but do not touch.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a bike show. Whatever I can get if you don't want people taking it off the kickstand or something, but just not to at least touch the clutch or whatever. But those guys brought them out and that was pretty badass.
Yeah. It is.
All right. So after Full Throttle, we've experienced Sturgis, we've experienced Full Throttle LD, and we're moving on. Let's talk about day 5, which was we decided to start doing some more riding. And really, like we've told you guys, the best part about Sturgis, not the best part, but a highlight is the rides in and around Sturgis. You want to take it here about our experience?
The first thing we did that day was we went to Bear Country.
Yeah, that place was awesome.
Thank you, because I didn't even put that in the notes.
Yeah, I
we weren't sure it was
noticed
going to
that.
happen. Yeah, thank you.
Pretty much fucked that up. But
Yep.
anyway,
Pretty much. One for me, one for me. All right, good.
we went to Bear Country, and the guy whose folks we were staying at we were staying at his folks' house.
It's not far outside of Rapid City. It didn't take us long to get there.
10 minutes or
Yeah.
15 minutes. He got us set up because he worked there in high school or something, knows the guy, got us set up with a free tour of bear country. And it was awesome. They had a bunch of animals. We saw Arctic wolves, gray wolves, bears, obviously.
They're wolves.
Wolves.
He said wolves.
Wolves. Yeah,
I heard it
Wolves.
twice.
That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about
We
it.
saw elk, deer, reindeer,
Bears.
Yeah.
Did you get bears?
bears.
Mountain lion.
Baby bears.
There was bears at bear
Wrestling.
country.
The baby bears
were
were
wrestling.
awesome. That place was awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool deal.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Go ahead.
let's get ready to rumble.
Dude, those baby bears were fun.
Baby
were
bears
pretty
were
good.
hilarious. If you were in the Rapid City area, you have to go to bear country.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What's
That
it
place
cost
is
to
cool.
get in normally? Like
I think
50
it's like,
bucks?
No, it's only like 16 or 20.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, $20, I think. So.
It'd be well worth it. And our tour guide, that guy was awesome. He
was a good dude.
I don't know how much he knew or how he knew all that stuff, but man,
Well, years of working there.
I guess.
And if you ride a motorcycle, they have a bus to take you through it with no windows in it. If you can drive through it, you see the people driving through it. If you bring a cage, you can drive
but you know
through
what?
it.
If I went there with my
I want the
family
tour
in my
guide.
car, I want the tour guide.
He was awesome. I learned a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather ride with the tour guide.
And they have awesome bike parking on that little hill that can be trouble for some
Indian
people.
John had trouble.
The Savage.
Indian John just put her old down right
Just
there.
Indian John just laid her down trying to park it.
But he
Backing up.
recovered really well. Yeah, he recovered well. That's
Poor
all right.
Indian John. I need a song for Indian. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got to come up with a song.
I
We
will.
got to get Indian John on the podcast.
It'll be
He
an-
got beat up last year when he laid his bike down on the California coast.
I've told him, I said, you're welcome on the podcast anytime. He's always like, we'll see. You know him.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, you're gonna have to
We'll
hide.
see.
You're gonna have to hide the whiskey.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
Or
God,
cab.
dude. Yep. Go ahead.
Pepsi and sunflower seeds. All right. So then we left there.
No midgets. No, God. We're,
Wow.
whatever.
We left Bear Country. We went to Rushmore. And the thing I remember at Rushmore is there's like 4 lanes reduced to 2. Now, that's bad enough, 4 lanes reduced to 2. I mean, yeah, that sucks. The shitty part was in these 4 lanes, you had 8 bikes wide.
Yeah.
Reduced to like 2 pay stations.
Yeah,
So you
that
had to go
was dumb.
single file into those. It was a fucking wrap. Man.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
and they had those
It
people
was.
back and forth. They're not rangers, but they're employees.
The gals that were hired for Sturgis probably.
Yeah, for that week, and they didn't make. That was a train wreck.
It was a disaster. Well, we did get split up there, but we came into the same parking garage because as they're progressing parking down the line, all right, fill this spot, go to this spot. We all pretty much got in the same
General area
football
was-
field size area.
Yeah, it was okay.
So we were able to meet up there. We did went out to Mount Rushmore, checked it out, and then we were getting ready to leave. Chumley decided to do a vision quest. He went out to the bottom of Mount Rushmore.
Vision. God, Jesus, dude.
Wow.
So then we
Oh, my.
they did sell beer there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Had a blanket. And,
Oh, yeah. Jesus. So then leaving there, I meet up with everybody and I said, all right, listen, getting out of here is going to be a shit show. When you come out to the road, you can take a left. And then we're going to go down about 3 miles. And
We
it's-
had this discussion.
Yep, and take a right. And if you make it to Keystone, you went too far. All right, fuck, so everybody's on the same page.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
pull out of that damn garage and I'm thinking I'm within the loop thing to get out. And my GPS tells me to take a right. Well, my GPS hadn't updated because we were actually in a parking garage. So 3 of us,
That's right.
3 of us take a right. Everybody else followed my directions.
Everybody else followed me.
Took a left, and we got completely fucked from there. I mean, we never met back up till the house.
No.
Let me talk about the
Oh shit!
that
Here we go.
debacle
I
here
knew
for a
this
minute.
Was, I knew this was.
Can you
good.
say
another-
debacle?
I want to
ahead.
talk about the debacle for a minute because I want to give some props
Please do.
to my wife. God bless her.
Yep.
I want to say screw you to Robin Lee first of
You're
all.
just trying to stay off the couch. Don't give me this
because
shit.
so we're parked downhill in this little turnout and it's one lane in either direction. And Rob says, "Oh, we got to go. We went the wrong way." And I tell Lee, "Hey, I can't make this turn with the 2 of us. We need to go down and find a better turnaround."
And the road right there was narrow.
It was real narrow. It's guardrail. It was like
And a lot of
white
traffic.
line guardrail. And I go, Lee, tell Robbie we cannot. I can't make this turn.
Popeye. Yeah.
I can't make this turn. Popeye. And so I see Popeye turn to Robbie and say something, and I see Robbie go bloop and make the turn and start going back uphill. I'm like,
He goes, "Go."
oh,
and I'm like,
shit.
Okay. So I made the turn. I didn't know if he went go straight, make the turn. I didn't know what he meant. So he just goes, "Go."
I
Because there
looked-
was a break in traffic. Oh fuck. All right. So I went.
I told Brenda, I says, oh shit, just get off. Because I could make the turn. So I made the turn and And then, no kidding, there was so much traffic. She's standing on the side of the road and she's looking at me and I'm like, oh, this is not good. And she can't get across. So wherever this dude is in this red Dodge, what's the SUV, the old, not Dakota, Durango. And he and his wife and his family, I want to thank you guys. Probably not listen to the podcast because they were in a car or whatever, but they must have seen the look on my face and Brenda's face because he stopped traffic.
Thought they were separated for life.
He did. He stopped uphill traffic for us, and Brenda was able to skirt over real quick, jump on, and we took off.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, I hate you. Robbie. I hate you, LD. Damn you.
So we rode. Did you guys ride Needles Highway?
So Rushmore, just so you guys know, during Sturgis, you can't go in the eyes and the nose and all that, right?
I don't think you can outside of Sturgis. However, we had a connection.
No. I mean,
I don't think you can.
Rushmore. Oh, I thought they took tours up there. They stopped that altogether. You used to be able to go inside of it.
Oh, I don't know. Then maybe they do.
Yeah, I thought during Sturgis, because there's so many people, they shut it down. I'm not sure because you used to be able to walk all the way up there.
You can walk. Well, you can walk out to part of it. I don't know how far.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was cool. Got our photos, but yes. So then we got. That's a good point. We talked about it in episode 1 or part 1 of Sturgis 2015. We talked about
Just make it stop.
We talked about breaking up.
Make it stop.
And after about the first day, actually the first day we were going into Sturgis, we all had a talk and we said, listen, from here on out on this trip, and it is because there's so many bikes, and normally on our trips we can stay together. California, when we go elsewhere. In Sturgis, if you have a large group, you might want to just have that conversation. We all picked a person. We didn't talk about this, but I want to talk about it a little bit. So Sturgis, day 1, we picked a partner, and I was with Skins and you were with Popeye, and you were with your wife, Oscar. LD was with Popeye. They're kind of a couple.
You already said that.
Right.
John,
You want to make
John
sure
was
everyone
with-
knew.
And LD was with
Indian,
Popeye. And LD was with Popeye. And LD was with Popeye.
Jesus Christ.
And,
Indian John was with us too.
oh yeah, Indian John. God, that made it interesting. So, but you might want to have that conversation. We just from that point on said, you two are together, you two are together, you two are together, because there is no way you can actually ride into Sturgis and stay together. You're going to get split up. It would be a nightmare to try to walk around as a group. So, during those times, and even Needles and all that, we just, and it was okay that we split up because you guys took off, did your thing. And then of course, like I told you in part 1 of this whole deal, that I took over because I knew where we were going. So everybody started looking at me going, okay, what are we doing? With that said, your question, LD, we rode from there and we hit the pigtail, which is a really cool, if you guys get to hit that, hit
Needles
the pigtail,
Highway.
Needles Highway. We did hit that. Where I decided to call it, because this is the night of the patron meetup where we're going to meet. We have the private at the home dinner and meet and greet with the patrons. And I'm like, times, and okay, I want to tell you too, patron Jim Demetrius.
Yes.
We're going to talk a lot about him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
His name's going to come up. He got a hold of us and he really wanted to help with getting groceries and all that. Well, I couldn't work it out because, long story, I wanted to get it done the Saturday we rolled in. Anyways, he was very helpful. Well, he was there and he wanted to meet up with us before the meetup and ride with us this day. So Jim Demetrius was with us, great supporter of the show, and so awesome to meet him in person. He rode with us. He stayed with the group I was in. Oscar, were you in the group I was in?
No, he was with us.
Yeah, that's right. You ended up with them. So I had everybody aside from you knuckleheads. And so we did decide, and I gave it to the group. I stopped before we went into Custer State Park. I pulled the group over and I said, listen, here's where we're at. LD and all these guys, I don't know where they are. They're doing their thing. But here's what we're looking at on time. The way I look at the map is it's going to take us X amount of time, or we can cut right over here. And I'm just throwing out, I can't remember the highway name. I said, we can cut over and then head straight north back into Rapid City. We can get lunch. I think there's a pizza place I looked up along the way there. And I said, so I gave it to a group, regardless of club. And it was funny because Jim goes, I'm not, and John, I'm not part of the club. I go, this isn't a club decision. That
group ride.
Yeah, we're all group ride. The clubs, we throw that out the window. This is everybody here is involved with this. So what do you want to do? Everybody's like, nope. Let's time's a ticking and we'll skip. So we didn't get to go down into Custer State Park like you guys. Why don't you tell me? Well, you did, didn't you? We just headed straight back, had pizza, and then headed back.
That's actually
Rapid.
good. And it's good for your soul that you did that, because these nippleheads We're in Custer State Park, and we decided to get something to eat, and we find this cool little barbecue
Talking
place.
about Popeye and LD.
Well,
Yeah,
the-
it was.
The barbecue place was just basically a field and some like.
And there was empty chairs everywhere and places to sit under the trees. These knuckleheads pick a small chapel to drink beers in and curse. And I was like,
it
what
was
the-
outside.
What the hell?
A minor altar where they sacrifice lambs and shit.
We're going to get hit by fucking lightning because these guys, I don't know how many times they said the word fuck in the chapel.
Oh my God,
At least 25. So you guys actually...
It was not a chapel. This is outdoor seating. There was two.
The cross was right in front of us
horseshit.
looking
You
at
are
us.
so ridiculous.
It was right. We were sitting in church pews eating and drinking beer. Frick.
I did not hear about this.
5
Anyway.
extra years in purgatory for this.
Oh my God, dude, leave it to LD and Popeye. Oh yeah. So you guys did go down all the way.
We were in Custer. And
It was cool.
there was we're riding through Custer, and there's a mini mart on one side and a little like 2-pump gas station on the other side, and there was a field, and these people like set up a freaking barbecue, and it was buffalo.
So they told you.
It was almost like pulled pork sandwich, but it was buffalo.
Yeah, it was
like
buffalo.
Shredded buffalo
Oh, I love
sandwich.
buffalo.
And
It's lean.
yeah, it was
good.
shredded buffalo and a beer and a scoop of potato salad, I think, for like $12.
Yeah, it was really, actually, it was a good deal.
Yeah. And
Is it a pretty ride?
yeah,
I mean, is
Yeah.
it one of the top 4, 5 in the Sturgis trip? Because I didn't get to hit it or not. Or it's like, it's cool, but no.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it was, you're winding through a national park and not going very fast.
What was the national? No, because let's just let that be. What was
geez.
the national park attached to? Because we left Custer State Park, and then into that's where we caught the attention of, or we saw the park rangers.
I screwed that up.
We saw park rangers. So obviously we got out of Custer because Custer was a state park. But anyway, it was nice. It's kind of swampy. It wasn't like riding around here through the mountains and stuff. It was cool, windy roads, but there was still a lot of bikes and a lot of cars and
Right. Which, during Sturgis time.
we gotta expect.
Yeah, go ahead.
We came down through Wind Cave National
That's what
Park.
it is. Yeah, Wind Cave.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what we left through Wind Cave. I think didn't
Yeah.
we? And then went some shithole city right there.
Yeah, I don't know what town that was. The bottom.
Well, but did you see the courthouse?
Yeah.
From like 1918 or something, original brick, and it was like the size of this room.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool looking.
Yeah, it was a neat. It was cool. We rode through that town and just kind of headed out,
Yeah.
and then we got on that highway you're talking about that runs straight north. Back
Yeah,
into-
70 something. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
straight
Yeah.
back into Rapid City.
That was
Yeah.
boring. That was
Yeah, we just.
Well, yeah, you just throttled down at that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we all ended up back at the house. Now, this is, of course, all of you that follow us knew we were going to have a private patron just for patron supporters of the show. And y'all know what that is by now, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. These people are awesome. They pledge a certain amount per piece of content. They love it so much they keep it going. And we really wanted to extend our hand. And it was, we wanted to meet them in person. And I think we all enjoyed that. We were ready. I had bought quite a bit of groceries 2 nights prior when we rolled in because I wanted to be prepared. And LD helped me. And Oscar was there and Chewy and
everyone.
Yeah, Skins, everybody. Popeye.
Did Mike come on that? No,
No.
yeah. No. Mike did come because he bought some groceries.
yeah, he did.
Everyone came.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone with
Except
all
the
bikes
wives.
came.
The wives stayed at the house.
Okay.
And all the guys came. We emptied our bikes and made room for your groceries. And we
Yeah,
all
you're
came.
right.
And
Everybody
that's where we
emptied.
busted the beer.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
God
yeah.
for breaking that beer.
So yeah, Walmart. That's right. And then, yeah, so real quick on that before we get to the Patreon meetup. So we're sitting there and LD's trying to put the beer in his trunk because he had emptied it and you hit the latch.
I put a whole cube in my trunk and then I tried to put a 6-pack in and I hit the latch and it punctured a
It-
can. And you go, there's a garbage can right there. I go, fuck that, I'm drinking it.
So LD's chugging a beer. Did you help him finish, Oscar?
Yeah, then he finished
Maybe.
it.
and then-
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe. Oscar's right there as backup.
Oh yeah, can't let a beer go to waste.
Enable.
Chugging just white trash. Chugging beers in the Walmart parking lot. I need my banjo again.
I just started smashing all of them into my thing to break them all.
No shit. We got everything, got all the groceries, got back, but so we were prepared. And so the following patrons, I just want to name them, and they started rolling in. I had shipped stuff down ahead of time. I wanted to make sure they had t-shirt and mug and some other cool stuff and stickers and things like that. I had bags for all of them. I had shipped them to this residence and they were all awaiting me, which was nice. So I started getting everything ready. Honestly, it was kind of stressful because I wanted to make it a cool deal and it was kind of on me. a lot of it. And thank God again that the wives that were there, and Brenda, thank God bless her, they realized that I needed help. And I will say you guys did too. And Chewy stepped up to the plate and people started realizing, oh yeah, there's a lot to do here.
Yeah.
And he offered to grill, and I got the barbecue. Anyways, the patrons started rolling, and I will tell you that we met 6 patrons, and I took each of them aside, and when they showed up, and I just really did want to humbly tell them how much personally, and I gave them their items, how much, and that we appreciated their support. And these people are just down to earth. Absolutely. And of course, this is just a portion of the patrons that support the show. These were just the ones that happened to be in Sturgis on that day and could take it out of their time to be there, which even means more.
Right.
That they're willing to take it out of their time to come say hi.
Yeah.
And meet us. You know what I mean? I want to meet them. That's really the key.
It was fun. That was a lot. I really enjoyed that.
It was. Jim Demetrius, we talk about.
Yeah.
He was there. John Patton and John Lister came together. They're from up north in the Canada area.
Yeah.
I think they're from Calgary.
Yeah. And awesome guys. So awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Just so humble, and Rusty Roberts, he was awesome. Chris Lezak. And
we can't forget he brought his wife. And
he did.
She was a troublemaker. When she got with my wife and Baker's wife, and they were, I don't know what they were doing inside, but there was lots of laughing.
They hit it off good.
They really did. She was a really nice lady. I had a good time everyone there, but Brenda said, yeah, that was really fun getting to hang out, meet someone new from a totally different part of the country. Turned out to be a great lady. They had a great time.
Yep. Big supporter.
Yeah.
All these guys are big supporters of the show. And so those are the ones that were there. The only one we missed, shout out to Mike Petrie, who's been a longtime supporter of the show. He had signed up, but I haven't been in contact with him, so I don't know. He didn't make it. Of course, don't hold that against him. Just sad that we couldn't meet him. But so those are the patrons that showed up. And again, awesome experience. I really can't explain what that means to me because I put so many hours. And the coolest thing, I just want a couple high points on this and we'll move on. But I'll tell you, these guys broke it down with me, and I know they got with you guys and they talked individually, and we went around. It was just a huge meetup. We had hamburgers and we had all the fixins and beer. I had plenty of beer, and these guys told me, which was brought it home to me, is that, they said, where do you find time? Because they realize, I know a lot of people listen and watch the videos, but I sometimes don't know that they really realize how many hours a day I put in on my days off. You're talking 14, 16-hour days. I've said it in the past to keep this thing going, as much content as we put out in there. They brought it up before I did, and we're like, dude, how do you do that? How do you balance that? And we talked about family, and when do you go on vacation? And that's, and a lot of them told me, they don't even hesitate to support because they're like, we realize you put in 14 to 16-hour days to bring us useful content and stuff we enjoy. So it was amazing that they were just like, no, I wish I could do more. A lot of them, I just appreciate what you do. But to get that personal connection, we know these guys, and a lot of them in the private Facebook group that you get in when you become a patron. We know their pictures, but to meet people in person, it was such a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that aspect of this whole thing.
And LD was integral in helping me set all that up. And I publicly thank LD here for doing that. Oscar. Publicly, Oscar's always involved with the patrons and spent a lot of time with them, BSing with them. I know they wanted to meet you, the personalities, and Jim Demetrius had a good time helping fix Baker's bike. And
he was perfect for that project.
Yeah, he's very, very handy.
And he's meticulous.
And meticulous and
That's
patient.
what it was. And when Baker and I talked about how to fix that, and I says, look, this is what we're going to do. And then I met Jim and I got to talking with him, and then I saw the trunk that he made, and I says, hey, we got a project for you tonight. And he was all on board, and he did a really nice job. And even and on the way home, Baker says, hey, there's no way to line the holes up perfect, but it is solid and it's not going to break. So we fixed it. He borrowed that trunk.
Yep.
Jim fixed it for the guy that owned the trunk. So that he could just leave it there. It'll be good forever.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. So thanks for that, Jim. I told him.
Typical lab deal. He had to sit on the garage floor to do his work.
Just ghetto. We don't have chairs in the garage. He's just sitting on the floor working. I got pictures of that. We posted it on that private Facebook. And again, if you guys want to get in that private Facebook group, we have a lot of this stuff going on, but the only way to do it is get over to lawabidingbiker.com/patron and sign up for at least a certain level. It tells you what the rewards are there. But Chris and his wife, Rusty Roberts was really awesome. Talked to him for a while, and he's a photographer, and he brought his great DSLR and took a group photo.
I really enjoyed talking with that guy.
He's great. God, I could have kept talking to all of them. And John Stevens brought his brother, and is it a brother-in-law? That's bad.
Brother-in-law,
right.
Brother-in-law, and of course we're like, bring him, dude. Don't leave him alone. And he was really cool too. And so all I can say is that was an absolutely one-off, one of a lifetime experience for me. And I'm getting a little verklempt.
How cool was that?
I got a little bubble in my throat.
It's okay to cry. I won't beat you up too much.
No, but really, dude, I do get, aside from jokes and crying, but I do get touched up when I think about this experience, and what these guys do for the show. So anyways, awesome.
Side note.
Please.
Shout out to John Stevens. Thank you very much. Bought me lunch a week later at the Harley Davidson Museum in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, that is awesome.
Cool. LD and them went off after Sturgis, after we all came back, and they did another 3,000 miles. Where exactly you ended up in
Milwaukee
at
the Harley
That's
Museum.
Right.
And then
and John Stevens knew him, and then you guys connected on the private Facebook group, and then I forwarded it. And anyways, you guys went on to do more things.
Yeah, he met us at the Harley place, bought us lunch, and then took us down to, none of us had seen the Great Lakes. He took us down to Lake Michigan.
At John Stevens.
Great guy. Really appreciate it, John. Thanks a lot.
That's awesome. You guys got to visit a lot.
Oh, yeah.
More than
We rode together through downtown Milwaukee. We visited at lunch, and then we sat at an ice cream shop on the water. And
that's awesome. You got to meet Big Daddy that way.
Yep. And the other guy, Mike, that was riding with us.
That's right.
Yep.
Very, very cool. That's the kind of connections that's been the best part, and I think you guys agree.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, but the best part is just meeting bikers all over the world and connecting like this. And then like that, just end up in Milwaukee. You end up somewhere, you always got somebody to ride with and all that kind of stuff. So anything else, I don't want to keep going over the patron thing, but it was really awesome. And yep.
Okay. No, it was great.
All right, day 6. Day 6 is the general meetup and ride across. Of course, this was where you could buy tickets and you could go on a ride with us to Deadwood. We kind of threw some stuff out here, didn't we, LD? We had a Crazy Horse. We threw out Crazy Horse. We were going to do that day.
Yeah, Jeff, Sturgis Jeff told us that was
Sturgis Jeff
told us that was a waste of time. And then he said that's a waste of time and money. He said, go do Deadwood. And that actually cut off quite a bit of time and miles for us. So we did Deadwood, and then
now these were the ticket purchasers that could purchase a 20. This is the general meetup,
right?
But we still had patrons. Of course, they were allowed for free.
Yep. So we
met at Walmart.
We met up at Walmart. We rode to Deadwood, and then we set a time to be back at the bikes. We walked around, did our thing, and then we went to downtown Sturgis.
Yep.
And then we walked around down there and met up with,
kind of split up after that. After Deadwood, everybody took off at a different time. I will tell you that there was 2 people that wanted to ride in the general ride. I just want to give a shout out to Chad. I think it's Zenor, Zenor, and William Rush. We waited at Walmart till kickstands up like the ticket said, and we even waited a little longer than that, and they didn't show, and everybody gets busy, and you don't know what their situation was. But anyway, shout out. Thanks for looking forward, to try to ride with us. Sorry it didn't work out, but we had the patrons in attendance, so I just want to give them a shout out. Everybody split up after that. Deadwood was cool. Buffalo Bill got killed there in one of the bars, so history has it. And they have tours there.
In the number 10 bar, which
10.
was also one of the top 10 bars in the West.
Yeah, that was the third one we visited.
Third one that we wanted to hit, yep.
Good call. Deadwood's cool. I couldn't spend a lot of time there. It's fun to walk through. But it's a lot, it's just another, a lot of fluff, but cool.
It would be better without so dang many people.
True that.
There was, Jeff goes, Sturgis Jeff, because of his Sturgis experiences, tells us when we pull into town, there's going to be a big parking area on the right. We'll pull in there, we'll be fine. Well, he goes, man, I can't believe that there's so many bikes. There's like double more than I've ever seen. Well, that parking lot was completely full, and there's so many people walking around. It was just out of control. I think the rides were awesome. However, they would have been a lot better had it not been Sturgis time.
Yeah, and I think you all agree that if you wanted to do that at another time in your life when Sturgis wasn't going on, it would be a different experience because you could go a lot. You could really ride a lot freer.
Oh, the pigtail would have been awesome with no other.
Oh yeah, LD would have went down.
Yeah,
no
I would
doubt
I
about
would have
it.
went into a tree and died. Probably.
Just straight up,
Dude, I think there was only 2 times where I was able to straight hammer down on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of them were like a mile till I caught a bunch of people.
I know. Yeah, you just get going and you're like, oh, freedom. And you start really laying your corners down and getting the hot tires hot. And then
We got behind this group of 3 people, and the front guy was on an ultra classic.
Yeah.
And I never got out of first gear behind
He
that guy.
was slow.
There was probably 7 miles I didn't get out of first gear, and you know how I am. That just drove me freaking nuts.
Yeah, those guys were slow.
oh yeah,
Oh, well.
that's LD.
I was getting pissed. I finally told the guy, I said, you want to drive like an old man? Get the fuck out of the way. I was getting pissed.
Oh God. I will say we went back and everybody split up from them. We got back in our pairs and we some of the patrons hung with some people and we saw Jim and we kind of split up at Deadwood and Rusty was there, Rusty Roberts, and we kind of parted our ways from there. I will say real quick, me and Skins ended up back in Sturgis and we wanted to hit the Black Hills Raceway, which is cool. Me and Skins, just on our own, we went and went to the flat track races at Black Hills. If you've never seen flat track racing in person, holy shit. You know how it is on TV. It's like any professional sport, right? You see it, dude, until you've been there, you're like, there's not a lot of money in that sport.
Right.
And I get it. So these guys it's passion, man.
Yeah.
But some of the top guys are making a living at it and wow, dude, unbelievable. This amount of speed, and I've never seen it in person. I'll just say props to flat track races, dude. And it was a big one in the circuit for that. And it was at Black Hills Raceway, and me and Skins did that. It was a beautiful night. Had a couple beers and just listened to loud bikes, smelled exhaust, and watched guys. We saw a couple bad wrecks, and it was cool. Very, very cool experience.
They pretty much slide all the corners.
Holy
yeah,
dude.
That's
and
crazy.
you're like, there's no way, especially the first couple minutes you're watching, you're like, no way, no, not making that corner because they're coming. You're like, no, you cannot. That's not physically possible, and they do, and you're like, geez, dude, guys are insane. Very, very cool. Anything else about that? We'll move on to day 7. We'll start getting close to wrapping this thing up.
That was the day Brenda and I went with Jeff and Janet to the dealership in Rapid City and then ended up going back to Sturgis. I'm glad we did that. Brenda really wanted to do it and I was kind of on the fence, but I'm like, it's something we should do.
Right.
Because Jeff kept talking about it. And it just, these guys tried.
It's a whole nother event.
It is. These guys tried to get in. We got in and got parked and it was cool. We had a good time, made some contacts, and I can say the dealership was the worst experience of my life. Not because of the staff or the dealership. It was like, if I can imagine myself inserting myself into an anthill, that's what this dealership looked like.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many people everywhere.
When me and LD went, it was pretty good.
Awesome. But
we hit it right.
I tried to go the day before with Popeye, and it was miserable. There was 45 minutes to get in and out. We never even got off our bikes.
Yep.
I said, you want anything here you want to see? He goes, not this bad. It was like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
45 minutes of stop and go in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Screw that.
We actually, on the end of day 6, where did we go? Was that the day we rode? We rode part of Main Street. That was
We went to Flat Track. You guys went to Sturgis, I think.
Oh no, we parked by Jeff and Janet's again. Yeah, and then we met you guys.
Yeah.
Later on, that was cool. I'm glad we did Sturgis again, and so because the contrast from when we got there Sunday morning to Tuesday night was like 2 totally different places. And I'm like,
because Sturgis was actually in effect,
right? The official rally. So that was kind of cool. I'm glad we did that. Brenda convinced me to follow Jeff and Janet, and yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it briefly. So day 7, wake up. Here's my system. So every night I was doing a documentary on this, guys. I had multiple GoPros and I had a ton of footage. And like we say in part 1 of this, no joke, on my helmets, multiple controllers wrapped around my handlebars. I was doing foot shots where I had it wrapped around my foot. I was left, right, behind, front. I had some wrist stuff. I was doing some really, really cool shots. I was moto vlogging within my helmet and my microphone. I was also doing morning vlogs, welcome to day 7, kind of some of the stuff we're going over here on the podcast, but a real personal. You could probably see the boogers in my eyes was I get up early in the mornings and do a quick vlog on the GoPro, a selfie.
Noon.
And
I was going to say, what was that? Early in the morning is not 11 a.m.
I wish. This trip I slept less than any trip I've ever slept on because I had to get up even earlier than you guys to do that stuff. People didn't know I was doing it, but I was.
Bullshit. I'd get in the shower in the morning. You were still in bed.
No, you're totally mistaken.
Bullshit.
No,
He got up at daylight, but then he went back to bed.
Yeah, no, I wish. I was working. And so unfortunately, none of us talked, and it's nobody's fault, but we had a garage on the house we were staying in Rapid City, and it was probably more than one night. Nobody was responsible, and we didn't discuss closing the overhead door. Woke up day 7, bikes everywhere, $600 helmet sitting there, tons of expensive items, but my GoPro, I was charging it in the garage, and I had a little on the workbench, a little system going there to make sure, because I was going through 3-4 batteries a day, and it was gone. My main GoPro. I had a secondary GoPro that I had some backup shots on, but it was my main GoPro with all my vlogs and everything gone. So definitely not lost, guys. And you that been following know on the Facebook page and stuff, it was stolen. No doubt about it. Not by obviously anybody that we were staying with. Somebody decided to come in, and obviously it was somebody young, I would assume, and somebody that knows what a GoPro is and obviously doesn't know what a $600 Schuberth helmet is. And in fact, if they would have looked a little closer,
at that helmet until that thing gay as hell. I ain't
right? Yeah, exactly.
That's
why
a full face.
They pissed on your tire. But they right below it on the workbench was a black leather case, and if you would have opened that, there was another GoPro, massive accessories. But anyways, GoPro gone, all my footage gone. I will not probably recover that, guys, obviously. So I couldn't even do my documentary video. And briefly, I will tell you guys, this is how much the patrons we appreciate, and this is why. Because there's all kinds of expenses associated with getting this content out to you guys. And obviously the documentary post-edit would have took me, 20 plus hours, whatever. I'm willing to put the work in, but I wasn't expecting that. And that was probably a GoPro with some accessories. It was about $600 value. And then me and Lurch were in here last night working, and one of our main backup drives, went tits up. And that's another $175. So I tell you that those expenses to run this thing are not expected, and that's just what you have to prepare for. So luckily the patrons, because of patrons, in maybe another couple episodes or another month, we're saving again. We have some money set aside for emergencies like this, but not enough. So because of patrons and people that donate, we will eventually be able to replace those items, the hard drive and the GoPro. Luckily, I have Lurch's backup GoPro right now. But it is what it is. That's the kind of stuff, guys, learning experiences, and why we appreciate all you that support the show so much. So when we run into things like that, aside from the regular bills. So, all right, pretty upset about that the next couple of days. That was really eating at me, but it is what it is. Just because of mostly the footage. Of course, I don't like spending the money to replace that stuff. It's the footage and the memories.
You never get that back.
And the documentary that I was going to do. I had this whole big thing to put on YouTube, and oh well. It could have been worse. No saddlebags were open. No helmets gone. Nobody else. It was amazing. Whoever it was had balls.
Yeah.
I think it was a paper boy or something.
Just straight up saw that sitting up on the workbench. It's the only thing he focused in on, and ran out.
When that's on the chargers, have a little red light on it or something?
It actually wasn't on the charger, just the battery was, but it was sitting up on a box. So it was like, visible. It was like a shrine, like, a GoPro sitting up on a box. Case. Exactly. Like a light shrine, And I think sitting right next to the helmet, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm a punk. Everybody knows what a GoPro is. Yeah. Not everybody knows what a motorcycle helmet is when you're not a motorcycler, but they know what a GoPro is, and they know the value of that on the street. So it's gone, and I'm very, very sad about it, but I'm kind of over it, but coming to the realization it ain't coming back, LD. The memories.
I know it.
What's seriously jacked up? Both of us just yawned right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yawning. What has happened?
Get up early.
Since the first podcast.
Yeah, true.
We're drinking water and we're yawning. It's like 9 o'clock, dude.
It's 10 and I got to get up at 4:30.
Yeah, it's true. And we're winding down. We're getting close, but really, guys, that is what it is. But like I say, really appreciate the support, the patrons and then flat donations. If you guys want to help, we did have some unexpected expenses that we're kind of saving to replace now. So anyways, the cool thing about that is I met a guy. I had to go to the GoPro booth at Black Hills Harley Davidson, where the other event was, the other vendors that you're talking about. And because we were making business connections and handing out stickers and all that kind of stuff, it forced me, and LD was with me that day because Skins went home this day.
Oh yeah.
At 5 a.m. He rode a 14-hour day all the way back home.
That's
14
crazy.
to 16 hours for no reason. Because seriously, because he was not in a hurry, dude. Seriously, I was like, why are you trying to get home so early? But whatever. But I had to go to this booth, and they had a GoPro representative, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. As I'm talking, I'm doing some searching here, but I may or may not find it. But awesome guy, and me and LD stopped by, and I told him of what happened at the GoPro booth, and he's like, oh, that sucks, and I feel for you, and you should reach out, and you know what? I'm going to have, in a couple weeks, some $100 off coupons, and give me your card, and I will make sure that you get a $100 off coupon. So while we're saving to replace that, I'm also just awaiting that $100 coupon basically
That's cool.
to come in. So, and he came home. It was really cool. Me and LD made some business contacts there. And then after that, we ended up that night, LD, we went to Chili's?
Well, we were at the dealership.
After we talked to him?
When we're at the dealership, the storm starts to come in. And like a half hour early, every place starts closing up. So it says, let's go get something to eat. So we were going to head to Sturgis. So we ran to Chili's. And we ended up, the storm hit. So we stayed in Chili's. We said, screw Sturgis. And this guy comes in. He's like, hey, how's it going, guys? And I'm like, huh? And I look at the guy. He looks a little bit familiar.
That's right.
The GoPro guy, he changed his clothes.
We didn't even know.
Yeah, he had a hat on.
He goes, GoPro
different.
guy.
He's like, GoPro guy. and then he turned, and he had like a ponytail. And I could see it when he turned. And I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? So Ryan.
Adam Conti's his name.
Yeah, great.
Shout
great,
out to Adam Conti, who works for GoPro, I believe, out of San Diego.
Yes.
Right, because we talked.
One worked out of San Diego. I think he did.
Yes.
And the other guy worked out of Colorado or something.
Correct.
Yeah, great guys.
And
Yeah.
Adam Conti said, we have full, just like we do, Vance and Hines. We got connections. We got Dino Jet. We got them now. Full one-on-ones tours of their facility when we go down there. I got his email. You're looking at it right here. So Adam Conti, thank you, brother. Go ahead, LD. What else you're going to say?
And so I said, hey, Ryan, buy those guys a beer. That'll help your contact.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So bought them for their first round.
They were very humble about it, too.
They
were like,
oh,
really?
you don't have to do that. Thanks a lot. And so we visited with them till the rain stopped. And then we said, hey, there's a window. It's not raining. Let's haul to the house.
We were sitting out the storm.
Yeah, it was about 10 minutes away, and we flew to the house, and luckily didn't get any, the road was wet, but we didn't hit any new rain, so that was nice.
Yeah, it was still very wet out, and my tire was bald because I was pushing it too much.
And Indian John was in Sturgis, so we told him, hey, we're not coming. So he came back to the house.
Let me tell you about storm and rain
Yeah, please do.
somewhere in Montana, because we were on our way back. So the Bakers and I and Chewy and Jake Justice all had to come back early. And so we're riding, we were east of Bozeman, and you could see the storm on the mountains. And so I'm like, when do we, I ride like LD does. I don't like to stop. I don't want to stop and gear up until the last possible minute. When we get to the point where we were so close, we could see the lightning basically hitting the ground. And I'm like, maybe, and we're passing all these guys gearing up. So finally we pulled over to put the rain gear on. And maybe 32 and a half seconds later, the first hail hit. And I kid you not, it was 40 mile an hour side gusts. It was pouring rain. It rained so hard. I had my little rain sock on my air filter. It was so wet that the rain choked out my air filter.
Had that happen before.
And it started killing my bike. So I started pulling over, and it was just and it was sputtering and stuff. And I'm like, oh no, this is not good. And I started getting onto the shoulder, and finally I got one little spot on the throttle where, I don't know, I got a little error, and it took off in first gear. So I could ride first gear at like 30. We couldn't see.
Been there, dude.
We lost Jake and Dustin, and I'm like, and Baker stayed with us, and we just kept going. And we rode after that, dried off for a minute, and then we were like another 100 miles in the rain.
It's one of the only problem with putting those stage ones open backs on it.
Right.
That's why I kind of keep my stock back on there, because I've had that happen, and it is a shitty feeling when you're in torrential downpours and your bike is starving for air because of the rain sock. I've had it.
I've never had it happen until then. I think it was the combination of the hard driving wind sideways.
Right.
That sucked that sock onto the filter and got it wet.
Right.
Because I've ridden.
And you have a sock that goes over your whole just regular stock stage 1?
That's what that's what I put on.
Okay. They make a rain sock for that, huh?
Yeah.
I was talking about my old Wimmer one with the big
air.
No. I had a rain sock.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know they made those.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was so wet and the wind was pushing the rain sideways. It sucked that rain sock into the filter wet and just choked it out. And I'm like, that's
a crappy feeling.
Yeah.
Because I've been there torrential. I couldn't see and I'm like, it's just sputtering. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm just going to sit here.
Oh no, see, we kept going.
With semis. No, if it died, I was like, it's going to die.
Yeah. I told Brenda, we're riding. We are not stopping. And she goes, don't stop. Just keep going. So we kept going.
Jeez.
He eventually caught up with Chewy and Jake Justice again down the road. But yeah, that was awesome.
So we rode out we were lucky. Besides your rainstorm, that's the only one me and LD hit. In fact, I didn't even have to use my rain gear this trip. I didn't even throw it on. One day it rained a little bit on the ride through with the patrons in the general meetup, but it was just sprinkling, and we all kind of just. I put on my regular Harley Davidson coat, which is can repel some rain and stuff, but then it's quit. So that's lucky. That's lucky. Don't think you're going to get away with that going to Sturgis. You're going to end up. We all expected and were prepared to end up like Oscar did, because that's the norm,
right? When
you're going that many miles in and out and back and around Sturgis. So, all right, day 8. So here's day 8. So Oscar, on day 7, you guys, the day my GoPro, we woke up and it got stolen. That's the day you headed out.
Yeah, we left that morning. In fact,
Baker headed out.
Yep.
Chewy headed out.
Yep.
Jake, we haven't talked a lot about, have we?
No.
Poor Jake Justice.
Yeah, he went with us.
Yeah, he was.
Jake is he's not a guy that's going to do a bunch of outlandish stuff,
right?
But he's not a guy that he's even keel,
right?
So
right.
He doesn't tip his bike over. He doesn't ride crazy, so he doesn't give us a bunch of shit to talk about.
Right? True.
Well, there's one. Okay, wait. Well, okay, so one thing. So we got into Montana, and we were looking for that restaurant that we ate at 2 years ago,
right?
When we got in late, and we couldn't find it, so we pulled in this random steakhouse, and so it was. Brenda and I were sitting one, and so Jake was at the other head of the table, straight across from me, and the look on his face was priceless because we were wet and cold and hungry, and he was just red faced and droopy, and what did he say? He said something like, "I can't figure out why the fuck we were going faster in the rain than we were not in the rain."
Nice. That's about. And when he gets pissed, he gets pissed.
And I think that was the only thing he said for a while, and then. We ate and then went to bed.
That sounds like something you'd say too.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's funny.
Jake. Yeah, I'm sorry we haven't mentioned him much, but he's a great sport. Yeah,
he was fun.
He loved it. He loved the ride. All right, so everybody else is headed out. All that's left for day 8 is we wake up day 8. That night Rick rolled in
on day 7. We rode the Badlands.
Yes. Correct. You're right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. So day 7,
we wake up, the GoPro's gone. We ride
Jeff,
the Badlands.
Popeye, Skins. No, Skins was gone. Nope.
Yep. Popeye and Popeye's friend. And this is the day Popeye decides, and John, Indian John was with us. And this is the day that Popeye decides he's going to trailer his bike home.
Pussy. What a pussy.
That is absolutely
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
And we are never letting him live that down publicly.
Never, ever, never.
I think they busting his balls on GroupMe already.
Trailer Queens.
Oh yeah, dude. Very nice.
Leroy.
Straight up
and
Popeye.
The funny thing is I told him, I said, you're never going to hear the end of this if you do it. And he goes, I know, but I don't really want to ride 1,000 miles by myself tomorrow. He's like,
Skins did it.
I'm going to do it.
Skins did it, Popeye. And he's half the size of you, and he did it. Just straight up, no excuse.
And he's on the last days of his life, Popeye.
Yeah. Just here we go. Here we go. Oh God, dude. There's just yeah. That's it, guys. Publicly, Popeye literally trailered his bike with another guy.
Yep.
Back.
Yep.
Dude, and he'll never live that down.
Now, I will say, the only thing I will say is Popeye...
Don't stick up for him.
No, the night before he left, he went and stayed with that guy.
Weird. Yes, he did. Right? Yeah.
Weird. But the son of a bitch took a picture with the wrestling midgets and texted it to me.
Oh, dude.
He met him at the campground he was staying at, the wrestling midgets, and drank with him.
Dude.
And that's some bullshit. I really want
with Meatball? with meatball.
with meatball.
Well, let's look exactly who they were.
Oh my God, dude.
There wasn't very many of them.
Badlands guys, we rode it that day while LD's looking that up. Absolutely awesome. And you missed it. And
I did.
I get it. You had to go back. I'm just telling you guys, if you ever get to do that, it's weird. It's intense. It's a different, it feels like you're on Mars. If you
Oh my God.
you're on another planet, when you're going through Badlands, huh, LD?
Yeah, it was amazing.
We got some great pictures. It's hot. It's hot. Be prepared for that. It's bright. It's hot. It's dry, but you probably nowhere on else on Earth you see weirdness.
Well, yeah,
in that aspect.
When we went into that one deal, because I asked Jeff, I said, "How in the hell does this stuff form?" Is it
right?
You know, and when we went into the one
Sturgis
thing,
Jeff knows 7 years in a row.
Sturgis Jeff,
When he has his rings on, he knows.
he knows. It's like
The rings of power.
the oracle of information. So he actually didn't know.
That's even funnier.
So we went to an interpretive center, and the stuff that the ground is made out of there is so, like if you get salt wet and it would like disintegrate type of thing. The ground, whatever the soil is made out of there, the rain is actually disintegrating the soil.
Yeah, and it looks
Wow.
like it.
And so when they have like a huge rainstorm come in, they can lose like an inch. And so the way it's fallen, it's collapsed in different areas, and it's just, and the Indians came and called it the Badlands because they couldn't maneuver through it.
Right, just bad land. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Indian John's people.
Yeah.
Mhm. Just saying. All right, real quick while we're going to Badlands, before it, Skins calls me. He's on his way back. He's making a 14, 16-hour trek all the way back home to Yakima, Washington area. And he calls me. He's like, dude, I'm out of gas. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? How do you run out of gas? Well, apparently just outside of Buffalo, he runs out of gas on the freeway. A nice couple from Sheridan pick him up, and they're like, and they ride him into town, get him a gas jug and all this kind of mess. So it turned his 14-hour into like a 16 or 17-hour, but he was running, we're not going to get into EFI tuners, but he is not happy. From Fuel Moto, he bought the micro tuner.
Yeah, they relabeled their own little deal.
Not happy. And he had it adjusted all on the way there. He was getting like 44, 46 miles a gallon, same exact bike.
Wow.
Same exact motor. Like me, we were doing good. We were tracking mileage, and he adjusted just a few of those things, and he can't get it back. And he was getting like 26, dude, like half, like bad.
Wow, that's real
And he's
bad.
been in contact with him. We're not talking bad about Fuel Motor right off the top. I'm just saying he's personally had some troubles.
Wow.
And I told him, like, you just need to switch, throw a PC5 on there, a Power Commander 5. He can't do the Fuel Pack 3 because he's got an older bike. But I think he's ready because this is not the first time he's had troubles with this.
Oh,
he's
wow.
been talking to me about it for a year. I'm like, get rid of that micro tuner, dude.
Yeah, right.
Geez, just put a PC5 on it or something and just call it good. Quit. It's got the little adjusters on it.
Yeah, right.
Not
Him and I had talked about it a little bit.
okay. Oh, did you? Yeah, not working for him at all. So anyways, we're not going to get into a lot of EFI stuff, but that's why he ran out of gas, because he had made some minor adjustments and he was doing good. And then bam, his mileage cuts in half. He's in between towns. His gas gauge is like shit. And done.
Yeah.
Done. So
late on the 7th day, Big Daddy Rick and a buddy of his, Mike, show up into town so that they can ride to Pittsburgh with me.
yes,
So then we go to day 8.
that night. That's right. So they stayed the night in the house with us, and then we move on to day 8, and it's pretty much a free day. And the rest of us that were left there could do what we want. And we decided to take those guys back into Sturgis, right?
Yep.
And we spent some time in Sturgis. I will tell you, the whole time that I was in Sturgis, I kept wanting to see these stunt riders.
No, they were awesome.
Now I got to see, they've got the Harley riders. You know, I've trained on police motor stuff, and I get to do some of that. These are the Harley riders, and they actually train a lot of law enforcement agencies. So they were really, really cool. And they were doing their low speed cone drill type, just amazing stuff, teaching guys how to pick up their bikes when they drop them and stuff like that. That was fun. But really what I was waiting for was the stunt riders, and I kept missing them, and they didn't have a good schedule of times. And I finally kind of figured out when they were running each day, and I would have really been pissed if I would have left Sturgis and not seen this. I've since watched some of their YouTube videos. Amazing. These guys are riding Dyna lowriders and a wide glide, I believe one of the guys was. They're stunt riders, and I'll just throw it out there. We don't have any affiliation, but they're unknownindustries.com.
Unknownindustries.com. Next time you're in Sturgis, post a friggin' time deal so people can come watch you.
Thank you.
Because we caught them randomly.
It was happen chance if you came across it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did. And Jeff goes, hey, we should see this. And we walked up and I'm like, whoa. We're riding wheelies and scratching the back fenders. And
yeah, they're doing just, dirt bike type stuff on Harleys. They're doing those low riders. They just got a lot of power. They're up so high doing wheelies. They're actually dragging their back fenders. They're standing and doing wheelies. They're just, doing the donuts and peel outs while they're up on the pegs and standing up. And quite a show. Sure, watch some of their YouTube stuff. LD's right. Unknownindustries.com. I don't know if it was their fault, because on their website they had times listed and they weren't actually supposed to be at the park. They weren't supposed to be right there.
That was a Harley. That's where Harley had all their, and that's where they had all their Harley people. So they had the motorcycle guys on that little track.
The
they
motors
had those
guys
on the track. Yeah, the motors guys. They had all the different Harley stuff. So maybe Harley needs to post something.
Yes. Because Unknown Industries had times, but they also had a defunct website a little bit that said they were supposed to be at the park. I think things changed once they got into Sturgis and nobody updated it. And it sucked because a lot of people wanted to see that. And I would have been not happy because I'm into that. I'm a motorhead when it comes out. I like smelling burn rubber. I like to see stunts, especially on Harleys, dude. It's so badass when they do that on lowriders, dude.
And it was loud and awesome.
Oh, just in your face, exhaust, smoke, rubber.
Those guys are amazing.
I'm gonna start playing with myself here.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm done. I quit.
Someone shut the curtain.
So we got done with that and came back home, and I throw out the idea that I don't just like sitting around, especially when I'm on vacation. So the bunch of us that were there, the last of us, we went and saw the movie Southpaw in Rapid City. And that was a good little movie. We're not going to talk a lot about that, but I thought it was a good movie.
I thought it was pretty good. The reason we laid low that night was we all had big days the next day.
Yes, we had to lay low. And we thought that was just to get out and get a good ride and do something for the mind. And we saw Southpaw at the Rapid City Theater, and it was really, really good. All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up. We're winding down, guys. Part 2 of 2. Day 9 en route back home. This is the day LD heads. And LD, Rick, Big Daddy.
And his buddy Mike.
So Big Daddy, Mike, and LD are all heading. They're not done with their adventures. Me and Indian John, and Jeff and Janet, his wife.
And you guys met up with Wendell too, right?
Yes, we did. We met up with Wendell, another guy that had ridden to New York and back. And anyways, a friend of Jeff's and ours. And we met up with him, and we all started our trek back. Pretty non-remarkable. But we started heading back, and we headed in. We were bound for Butte, Montana. Mm-hmm. We made it into Butte. Some beautiful ride, and we pushed hard. Everybody pushed hard. We took short breaks, and we headed into Butte. We stayed in Butte, Montana. Ate at a pretty cool restaurant that night, and me and Indian John stayed together. And then we got up the next morning, and we were up bright and early Saturday, August 8th, and from Butte, Montana, back to Yakima, Washington area. That was a 500-mile day. Day before was about the same, 525.
500.
So, yeah,
wait a minute. No. I have a funny story about this, because at the end, when we got into Butte and we're sitting at that,
this is you.
Yeah.
Because Oscar wasn't with us.
So we couldn't decide how many miles we rode, because either Jake Justice, I think it was Jake Justice said, or either Baker, one of the two said they had hit, or Chewy hit their trip button. And then it was like 680 miles the first day. And then, so it amounted to like 1,200 miles. I said, no, that, Google Maps shows it only to be 1,040. And we never did figure out. So I saw the mileage you posted up there from Rapid City to Butte, and then Butte to Yakima. That's about 1,000 miles.
Together, yeah.
And so we never did figure out why Chewy's, I think it was Chewy's trip said like 672 or something the first day.
Yeah.
Maybe it got messed up in the rain.
No freaking idea on that, dude.
So there we go. So 500, what was that mileage on that?
What?
It's like literally the halfway.
It's like 517 or something. Yeah.
It was 500 basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is. I mean, it's 516 and 499 splitting hairs.
Okay.
Real quick, and we're going to wind this thing down. We want to thank a couple donations. You want to do that, LD? Be thankful, LD. These guys are the reason.
What? I'll tell you what. David Duffy from Jackson, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Great guy. Peter Ketchum from Greeley, Colorado. And Edward,
Scheinbauer?
Shutting down.
Schelmbauer. I'm sorry, Edward, but he's from Simpsonville, Kentucky.
That's right, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. We appreciate it. That's right. They took action because we are in the midst of replacing some equipment. So thank you, guys. What timing. We appreciate it. So, we're back home. We stayed the night in Butt, and then we stopped in Coeur d'Alene, had lunch, and throttled home. Of course, we made it back in 2 days because we just did I-90, like throttle down, no tour riding. It was just knees in the breeze with the cruise control set. Made good time. LD headed off to Milwaukee. Before we wrap it up, LD, do you want to say any high points about your? He had a work-related conference over there, so
I went. We rode to Peoria, 923 miles, and then the next day we did.
That's a day, man.
Yeah, it was. Then the next day we did about 700 to Pittsburgh, and then I was there for 5 days at the National Fraternal Order Police Conference, and then from there we last day we got out about noon. We rode to South Bend, Indiana. From South Bend, we left at I think 4 in the morning so that we could get through Chicago. Traffic still sucked. Made it up to Milwaukee. Waited there. We had breakfast and all that kind of stuff. Talked about that earlier. Then we headed to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and then from there we went from Eau Claire to Forsyth, Montana.
Foreskin. Okay.
And
who knew?
And then Forsyth home. And those last 2 days were both about 900-mile days, back-to-back days.
That's
you
awesome.
guys did some riding. This was with BD Kane, Big Daddy, and Mike.
Yep.
How did Mike hang?
Mike did great. Never complained once.
That's awesome because he was riding
a Suzuki M109. He added a Batwing fairing to it. The only issue we had was on that Batwing fairing. I think that bike's just not set up for it. When we got to Pittsburgh, he ended up needing a new front tire. It was just wearing weird.
Oh.
But on the way back, it wore fine. So I don't know if it was the fairing, the tire was already screwed up, the underinflated, overinflated, out of balance.
Right.
I don't know. But it was wearing weird. So
interesting. You guys did some mileage, man. That saddle time.
I ended up with 6,063.
And I was jealous.
Man.
Following you on Facebook, I was just like, God, and you guys got to go through the Harley Davidson Museum.
Yeah, that was great. We saw bike serial number 1.
Frickin' see, that's the kind of stuff that's life. You know, you gotta someday. And I would have loved, I just didn't have enough vacation to do that for manpower purposes at the regular job, the day job, the job that pays the bills.
Yeah.
Dang. Good though. And you guys just got home, 3 days ago, basically,
Sunday.
from the time we're spitting this.
Yeah, Sunday night.
We're spitting this in August. It will air in September 2015. But yeah, awesome, guys. So, we're at about an hour 20. Any last thoughts on Sturgis that you just, Sturgis 2015.
15.
Thing you have to part. Any bits of knowledge.
Just go. Just go. It's worth it.
Gotta check it out.
Yep.
It's worth it.
And if you can, ride there. Even if you want a trailer later, ride
That's
there.
No, not if you ride there.
Yeah, ride there.
Some
you
of the
have
crap
to.
we saw people riding there.
Ride home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
who knew?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, like a one-way ticket. Yeah.
Popeye. That's for you. We'll remember it for years. Personally, I've never had my bike on a trailer. But
yes, you have.
No, that was my 2011 when I blew my tire. Like I can help that.
Nonetheless.
Jesus.
You should have rode that in.
Yeah.
On the rim.
No shit. All right. Anything else before we take it on out of here?
Nope.
All right. We could keep going on, but
forever.
You know what? That's part 1 and part 2 of Sturgis 2015.
15.
That's right, guys. Sturgis. Yeah, the reverb. I love it. You guys are better than the equipment I have, the audio editors. All right, guys, call to action. Do not forget about the Biker Gripper. That's right. It is the sexiest, sleekest, strongest cell phone and GPS motorcycle mount on the market, tried and tested by the Law Abiding Biker crew. Use it to mount your cell phone, GPS devices, radar detector, EFI tuners, toll transponders, and so much more. That's right. We liked it so much, guys, and we used it extensively on the way in back to Sturgis and for the last several years. We liked it so much, we said, damn, we got to put our very own logo on it. So we did. We stamped it. It's our logo. It's our stamp of approval, and it's available exclusively and only in the Law Abiding Biker store, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Hook one up, guys. The videos are over there. Everything you need to know about it, which model you need, whether you need black, whether you need chrome, whether you need a control mount, universal handlebar mount. It'll fit metric and Harley Davidson motorcycles, guys. We got you covered. How do they leave us an internet voicemail? Putting you right here, LD. How do they do it? From anywhere in the world, right from their computer microphone. Lawabidingbiker.com.
www.
Oh, Jesus. We're running out of music here.
lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail.
And how can they get a hold of us, Oscar, on the LAB podcast hotline?
509-731-3548.
That's right, guys. And our general email contact, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Don't forget to get in that free email club. We email you when we come out with new free videos and all the cool stuff. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. No spam. Oscar is banned. He will not send you porn.
Well,
LD will not send you midget wrestling pictures, even though he has them.
If I get access to that email, I will.
Videos. All right, guys. Really, guys, you guys are awesome. We hope everybody likes something different. We've learned that over time, so that's why we do the tech stuff. We do the fun stuff. We do the trip stuff. People were begging for the Sturgis episode, so we did 2 of them. All right, guys. Peace out. Keep the rubber side down.
And the shiny side up.
We're out of here.
I would have screwed that up.
I know.